What's up, gamers? Today we have a quick jaunt through about half or less of the news articles in my backlog. I'm splitting things up in order to move a bit quicker, so expect another news video very soon. Thank you to all my Patreons and my channel members for your support. I'm working towards being able to afford a professional camera, and your help has been invaluable. Live on crowdfunding now, the Aeon's End crew is back with another expansion for the series, Aeon's End: The Descent. This time, take on an expedition about the founding of Gravehold with all new narratives, mages, nemesis, gems, relics, spells, plus an all-new Friends and Foes module. On GameFound, you'll find A Song of Ice and Fire, Tactics, a new tactical skirmish game set in the George R.R. Martin universe. With a giant dragon and 2 separate house sets, it looks like one fan should check out. EVE Online, War for New Eden, is on Kickstarter and creeping up on the $500,000 mark. It's grown to be another Calyx killer with several expansions and a host of add-ons. Now, how about some news? Pre-production of Townsfolk Tussle, Foul Neighbors, and Odd Jobs is moving right along. Files have been sent to Longpack and corrections have been completed. A pre-production copy was produced and is already in the studio's hands. Delivery is currently on track for the September estimate. While shipping prices have risen sharply, the increase will not affect backers. The pre-production copy of the game is looking great and only needs some slight adjustments, so no delays expected there. The boxes themselves look wonderful and are Calyx friendly, with only 1 slot needed with a little extra room to spare. Maladum Dungeons of Enveron is also in production, and beneath a mountain of cardboard, a pile of plastic, and rolls of neoprene, the game is finally taking shape. Final submissions to the manufacturer were made before Chinese New Year, so once they're back from their break, production can be finished. The neoprene mats were made of a thinner rubber to save on shipping and to prevent wrinkles increasing. They also beg of backers not to try to take on the whole mountain of content in an initial quest. There's a ton of content for the sandbox world and rules to go with them. Take it one piece at a time and enjoy the journey. Dungeons & Lasers 5, The World of Deus Lair, is closing in on their ship date. In this update, they're showing off the massive airships that can almost be used to speed up the process. These models are some of the best airships I've seen in plastic, and it really makes me regret not getting in on the fun. Shipping is likely already started or just about to begin, and as they punt these packages out the doors, they look to the next adventure, Caves. It's last call for address changes to the Trudvang Legends campaign. Wave 2 production is wrapping up and packages will leave the factory shortly after Chinese New Year's. The mass production copies are looking great, and it's wonderful to see this long journey coming up on a happy ending. Pre-production of Nanolith is ongoing, with them waiting on the digital copies of the submitted files for review and approval. Only a few minor adjustments had to be made to the files after they were submitted. Sadly, the whole process took a little longer than expected, and that digital copy did not make it out the door before Chinese New Year. No final delivery date will be announced for now, as they don't want to set expectations just yet. Their hopes are to ship in the summer. A white box copy is in the hands of Tyson for Phantom Epoch, and I must say it's much bigger than the prototype. The box is larger, the tuck boxes are a welcome addition, and those map books are looking much thicker than what I played with. Things are on schedule for production to wrap up in May. The books for Legendary Kingdoms, Pirates of the Splintered Isles are finished. No news yet, though, on a shipping date. These should come in an upcoming update. For Eldfall Chronicles, an all-new, all-in add-on has become available on February 8th. The original core box for the Eldfall has sold out and is being retired in favor of the 2 new player starter sets, which will be made available via GameFound. These 2 boxes offer the same miniatures and experience as the original core, and they've added in 2 new water elementals as well. Production of Tanares Adventures Ultimate Edition is complete. They'll be handling shipping in-house this time to ensure there's not a repeat of the blunders of Adventures. They're hoping to have a better idea of when translations will be ready this month. The new Weeks 1 and 2 book is available for download as a preview of the changes that are coming. The large miniatures are looking fantastic, and that pre-painted dragon is even better than expected. Testing of Stormsunder Heirs of Ruin is ongoing and going. They finished testing of Act 5 and retesting all the previous content to account for the base hero damage nerf, and things went pretty smoothly. They expect a real estimate is testing will continue for another 2 to 3 months. This update goes into a deep dive into waging war in Stormsunder. Some of these larger battles will allow players to choose which lot to throw their hat in with. Miniatures look to be replaced with tokens to allow for the increased numbers you'll find on the battlefield. Loot goes to the victor, who lands the final blow. These battles will help shape the chaotic world of Stormsunder. GenCon badge registration opened up this last weekend, and with that came some sad news. GenCon Online is no more. They're folding the online portion into GenCon Indie. You'll still be able to watch streams of some of the key moments, but events are gone. I know many people will be upset at this news, and hopefully someone steps in to create the next big online convention soon. Writing for Aeon's Trespass Odyssey, Cycles 4 and 5 is complete. Now all that is left is some editing, which should be done soon. The sheer amount of content headed our way is mind-boggling. We also get a few scant details about the Skyward Odyssey. Skyward Odyssey will connect the stories of Aeon's Trespass and the 12 Sins of Hercules, and this expansion will come with map tiles. There are also quite a few updates on the narration app. Cycles 4 and 5 are a go, folding the expansions into the original 3 cycles. They're teasing some surprises in the voice cast, and the soundtrack will now play a bigger role in the narration. Finally, the white proofs are in, including the god form miniatures, and a look at the binder. Black Rose Wars Rebirth continues to ship out, with a ship having landed in the US at the end of January. Europe and the rest of the world have had their shipments split up by languages, with English going out first. In Asia, the updates from VFI are rare, but shipments continue. For Oceania backers, shipments should be going out now. Development is complete for Dark Venture 2nd Edition. They're working out a production schedule and will hopefully share it soon, along with some pictures of the blank and color samples. The Android companion app is almost ready, and after it pushes, they'll be working on the 2nd edition and expansion updates. A pre-production copy of Arydia is on the way to the studio. They'll be poring over it during the Chinese New Year break, and they'll be ready when the factory comes back online with any corrections that need to be made. They gave us some shots of the metal player tokens, and began taking name submissions to add to extra space on the punch boards. The rulebook has gotten some love, and the soundtrack is on track. The Black Knight from Kingdom Death Monsters 1.5 campaign is set to arrive in warehouses any minute now. They tried to squeeze the Frog Dog onto ships before the shutdown, so hopefully those will follow the Black Knight closely. The expansion itself is looking like another incredible add-on to the game. Kingdom Death Simulator has also gotten some updates, with them working towards adding in all of the enhanced survivors for play. The Polish version of Waste Knights Beyond the Horizon is practically production complete. They're working on assembly, and these will be going out mid-February. Production of the English version is as far along as possible without the translated and edited books. No word yet on how much longer translations will take. Communications on the Malhya project has gone dark for a bit around the holidays, but they're back to say that everything is going quite nicely. All that remains is English implementations and a few design approvals. The total scope of the written material now equals the character count of the Fellowship of the Ring. Spanish, German, and French language versions of Novus Aetas Renaissance are production complete. With the troubles in the Middle East, they're unable to ship immediately. They've been looking for alternative shipping methods to no avail and are now waiting to see prices after Chinese New Year before making a decision on how to ship. Any way they decide, shipping will be in mid-February. Sadly, Sea of Legends, Vengeance of Empires did not make the Chinese New Year deadline, and the project will be delayed until March for freight, putting delivery in the April to June range. Shipping for Deep Madness has been delayed just a bit. They're going to be using a service to send the packages over the Pacific to the West Coast for US and Canada deliveries. This will happen shortly after Chinese New Year. For Europe, the ship has sailed and will be in port around March 15th. It will take the long route around Africa. For Asia and Australia and other regions, they will be shipped much like the US and will be going out after Chinese New Year's. Addresses for shipping will lock on February the 16th. Some shipping clarifications have been offered for Might and Magic 3, as their previous update was a bit unclear. They're shipping in 2 waves. Wave 1 will have all English, Polish, French, and German packages that were paid by September 1st. This wave is split into 2 parts, the first of which contained only the basic and Azure pledges. They'll be shipping the second part, with the all-ins and collector's editions, etc., in March or April, as soon as the ships arrive. Wave 2 should ship around July. For Unsettled, North American fulfillment is pretty much complete. In the EU and UK, fulfillment is underway and should be very near complete. Asian fulfillment is underway, as is Australia, New Zealand, and the rest of the world. Dawn of Madness has been hit with yet another small delay. They were ready to send out the packages when quality assurance alerted the factory to a problem with the cards sticking together. These cards were not given enough time to dry before being packaged, and they need to be reprinted and inserted into the packages. Shipping plans now look similar to those for Deep Madness, which we discussed earlier. Addresses for Dawn of Madness will lock near the end of February. Games are inbound for the Heroes of the Shire. They've hit the water, and unfortunately they needed the extra charge a little earlier than planned. This charge should have gone through on February 9th. How about another quick one? Skyrise production is coming along nicely, and the final rulebook has been shared. Tanares RPG materials are ready to ship. They're waiting on the vessel names so they can be shared with everyone. If you haven't received your digital rewards, make sure and fill out the form in the update. There's still a chance to add some new add-ons to the pledge should you wish. Contact them for details. Rules and missions are complete for SAS Rogue Regiment. Manufacturing is in full swing and the boxes are arriving at the warehouses where they'll wait for the printed materials. They're still on track for May fulfillment. Mythwind is shipping out to backers now. They estimate that most packages should be shipped out for the US. In the EU, they should wrap up shipping in the next 2 weeks. VFI has sent out everything. Canada is fulfillment complete, along with Aetherworks fulfillment. But wait, where's the rest of the news? I still have a ton of news to get through, and I'm getting these out in bite-sized chunks so I can work a bit more quickly. I'll be back very soon with more updates, including those from GameFound. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing to help our little channel grow. I had quite a few requests to open up channel memberships, and thus I have. The membership levels are the equivalent of the Patreon levels, so if you'd like to support the channel, that's another way you may do so. Thank you to everyone watching, commenting, and supporting the channel. Have a great week, and hold on tight to those wallets.